Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today we're talking about how everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. What does that mean? This is a show to highlight how each person that you interact in your life, every person on this planet provides something. There's some purpose, right? Some people try to spend their whole entire life trying to find their purpose. What are they meant to do? What do they need to do? I want to talk a little bit about in business, in life, when you experience different things, interacting with different people, each thing that happens, you have to step back, whether it's positive or negative. You have to step back and say, okay, what did I glean from that? What did I get from that? Because you can treat it as a learning experience. Because some people get all bent out of shape if something bad happens, right? Something bad happens and you beat yourself up. But then you say, okay, this taught me a lesson. This taught me what not to do. Even if you're just walking on the street and you see someone cross the street without looking, and God forbid they get hit, right? That teaches you to look both ways. Hold a grown-up's hand. Hold a grown-up's hand.
I see what you're saying. So like there's certain people in your life, stranger or not, who have influence on certain decisions you make and whatnot. Like that.
Yeah, so like someone would go through life and like hate certain people and get angry, or if something happens to them, they beat themselves up, or they do business with someone and they get hung up on something, and you treat it as, well, you know what? That taught me a lesson. That thing happened, you know, just like in the universe, it was meant to happen to teach you, okay, don't do this, do this.
Yeah, the way I treat experiences like that quite aggressively. Like I feel like for sure, like I've found a piece of like my reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like influence and stuff like that, I definitely. That's interesting. Like everything happens for a reason.
You can even say someone who's bad, beware of that behavior, beware of that. Beware of those dangerous things, because those, even the bad things, are meant to teach us.
Yeah.
The good things are meant to teach us. Oh, that's a good path. That's a bad path. And everything that we experience is an opportunity to learn and connect the dots and see patterns. That's a human survival thing, is to see patterns. So when you're going through life and something good or bad happens to you, you have to understand that all of that stuff has a purpose. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because I can think of shit that even when I was a kid doing dumb shit, and then something would go down and I'm like, okay, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. I should refrain from said activities.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, like I was saying before, every experience that I go through is some type of lesson, and I feel like I take as much as I possibly can from it. And now, a lot of people, when they go through certain things, especially if it's negative, obviously, they'll have this super bitter view on things and life and stuff like that.
Yeah, they get hung up, and then one thing happens, and they're like, oh, fuck that, forever. And it's like, well, you got to take each thing on a case-by-case basis.
And this, and this kind of ties into, like, I remember when the law of attraction thing was like huge, you know what I mean? When it was like this big talking point and it was like this whole trend and stuff. I truly believe in the law of attraction in certain ways, and quantum, thinking and stuff like that, and experiences ties into that, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've gone through shit. We've gone through amazing things, fucking crazy things and stuff like that. I always take something from those things into the next venture, into the next whatever it is, into anything.
Yeah.
I always take a piece of it. And if you do it right, you learn a lot. Like, people say, oh, you learn from your experiences, but people don't do it. They don't do it. They preach it, but they don't do it.
Yeah.
If you do it right and you don't have this negative outlook on everything, and it's not all that bad, right? It really isn't. Like, you could go through some crazy shit and you can come out the other side and you can feel really good, and you ground yourself, and you took lessons from it, and you learn from it, and you be better moving forward.
Exactly.
Now, and this can come from experiences and from people, as you were saying before. You can learn. One thing I love to do, one of the reasons why I'm good at sales in my particular way is repertoires, is building a relationship with people, listening to them, understanding their experiences. That's why mentors are huge when you're starting a business, when you're working in a company or whatever. Having a mentor that's higher up, that has more experience, has more years, is valuable, because you learn from their experiences. Things that you haven't dealt with, you learn from that.
What are your thoughts?
Super important.
What are your thoughts on the NPC theory?
I feel like that. So I'm going to tell you what I think from what I think the NPC theory is. But like, there's this whole thing where people are like what is that called? The main character in their own story, and everyone else around them is kind of like an NPC. Is it MPC or N? NPC. Okay. Non-playable character. Yeah. It's like a computer generated character. So what is the theory though? There's a theory that those simulation
people,
shit.
Yeah, kind of connected with that those people are just meant to be here to be that purpose. Their purpose is to be different purposes for different people on Earth, and they're not really
there.
So this is the crazy piece.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me that they spoke to an empath or a psychic or something, and they found out that 2 or 3 of their friends were NPCs. So that no,
friends an NPC.
No, not like that. They said no, like the spiritual side. They said they don't have a soul.
Oh,
that's fucking crazy. And what's crazy? Here's the thing. I don't know what to believe. I have no fucking idea. I'm just going by what I was told. Listen. And the person, one of the persons I actually knew, that I found out, mutual friends, and they always gave me a weird feeling, like a cold, empty shell. Always. And this was 15 years ago, dude. I was like, they're weird. They're just weird. I respected them. I liked them as a person, but I was like, there was something cold.
Just like,
and then they go, guess what? Guess what they said about, and I'm like, what? They said she doesn't have a soul. What? And they were like an NPC.
Now, we're getting into some
No,
shit.
this is just theory. This is just theory. So now we're talking about everybody on the earth has a purpose, right?
Yes, yeah.
The NPC theory, I'm not saying I believe it and support it. I don't know, right? I just like to sell websites. I don't know. But when you hear this and then you got a weird vibe from somebody, like they were an empty shell, you connect the dots. Hold on.
But back to what you're saying, just to kind of like dive into dig in the actual like purpose behind talking about this, is like everyone has a purpose.
Yes.
And like your purpose may or may not be set in stone. Now, you could be in a situation where you're like you're in a job, you're not really liking it, you're like, oh, I'm meant for more, blah blah blah. I believe truly that whatever makes you happy, whatever you enjoy doing, just like they say, if you enjoy your work, it's not work. You don't work to live, you live to work. That's like a big piece of what I believe purpose is to be. Now, ever since I started with what I was doing, I always wanted to help people in business grow. Like that's my thing. I want to grow my own businesses. I want to, I enjoy that, right? I enjoy the everyday motions and movements and tasks of doing that, of helping businesses and growing my own businesses and helping people. That's my thing. That's what I like doing. And every day that I do it, I'm living. It's a great day to be doing what I'm doing. And that's my that's what I feel like my purpose is. Who have I influenced the most? Okay, the first question.
Business people.
The first question, I hope I don't know if there's a single person who I've influenced. At the end of the day, that's one of the reasons why we do this show, is because I would just like someone to take something from it. If I can talk on here and someone can, learn something, take something away from it. That's the goal with this, right? If I, that's what this is for.
We observe so much.
And experience so much.
We observe so much and see so much that the average person doesn't see. Even the average fucking business person doesn't see. When you're in a service-based business that serves businesses, right? You're exposed very deep and very close to very sensitive parts.
But then as far as who's influenced me the most, I'd have to say my grandfather.
Which by the way, looks exactly like Jake.
Yeah,
but older. But
he actually met my grandfather recently, but
he's an older version of Jake.
No, we're not going to put him on here.
No,
we're not doing that. But the thing is he started off doing what millions of other people were doing, and he was really good at it. And his whole thing was he liked talking to people, and he built something huge out of something as simple as driving a taxi. He built something big. He made these huge connections. I mean, he did really cool stuff, and he brought me out to meet people and stuff like that when I was really young. And he always had this certain way he spoke, the way he shook people's hand, the way he did business with people, and I soaked that shit in like a sponge. So I think that my grandfather probably influenced me the most. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I used to see a lot of just like successful people. And when I say successful, just someone with a nice car, someone with a nice house, someone who owns a business. And I knew like, oh wow. So like those things that I saw and I observed were inspiring, right? Inspiring. Oh, I want to reach new heights. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to have the freedom. Or I'm passionate about this. I want to go into business. And so those people that you interact with in your life, they all have a purpose. And here's the thing, good or bad. So the bad and the good. So both of those things, and I'm not justifying anything bad. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but those things, no matter, could be something as simple as driving your vehicle and, you get in a car accident. When you get in a car accident, you learn, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have veered to the left or whatever. You got to remember that when in life, shit happens, good and bad, and treat every opportunity as a lesson.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. Hope you just like, subscribe, turn on notifications, be notified every single time. Next week, we're doing something a little bit different. No one's going to see this, but hopefully it's skits. And peace out.